Welcome back, Internet, to another Reddit story. This one is VaxxHappened. Just making fun of all those anti-vaxxers and that nonsense. Hey, we're almost up to 500 subscribers, guys. We're getting there. One day I'll be a YouTube channel, you'll see. Nothing is 100% safe anyway. Until proven 100% safe, I'll never vaccinate. Cars aren't 100% safe, and you still drive. Phones don't have a 100% chance of not exploding, but you still use one. Eating food won't guarantee you won't choke and die. The biggest thing is that the benefits are far greater than the risks. Benefits bigger than risks. Yeah, about 300 million people have died in the 20th century alone from smallpox, but now it's essentially eradicated. I mean, people back in the day used to have like multiple kids and like roll the dice and be like, well, half of them are gonna survive, so that's good. Honestly, only children that have received the vaccine develop the measles. False? That's hilarious. I'm assuming you're making a joke? But I've never had the measles. What about the 83 cases that were unvaxxed? Well, you know, I've never been shot. Therefore, oh, wait a minute. I am immune to bullets! Finally, a reason for being anti-vaccine that I can agree with. I'm now an anti-vaxxer because vaccines are the leading cause of adults. And those annoying pieces of crap are effing everywhere. If, like, not getting vaccinated didn't affect other people, I would totally go around being like, I hope you're not vaccinated, to some people. Maybe there's a reason why she can't find any credible groups. I'm trying to find some credible anti-vax groups, but all are pro-vax. Can someone help me find some good mothers? Good mothers. Ha, nice joke. It's funny, like, whenever you bring up anything like science or research or anything like that to anti-vaxxers, like, they immediately fall apart. So it's, like, weird that you can't find any reputable anti-vax group that have documented research or anything like that. I wonder if there's any correlation. Too many. This is from New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Anti-vaxxers are part of an insidious, well-funded campaign to take advantage of parents who just want to take care of their kids. We won't let them hurt our families. You are an ignorant bully, Mayor de Blasio. My son, like too many, suffered catastrophic brain damage after a severe adverse reaction. Parents like me are broke. What well-funded campaign? Please. You treat kids like mine so cruelly. It's impossible to get med exemption now. So, yeah, let's take a step back a little bit from the whole, like, let's make fun of anti-vaxxers. I'm assuming what this parent is saying is true, that maybe her kid just did have a severe reaction and it got out of control, caused an infection, and ended up giving the kid brain damage. I mean, you can have an allergic reaction to anything that you ingest or that you inject into your body. So actually, with this case, I understand why this parent is mad and doesn't want to vaccinate any of her other kids and is pro-anti-vax. I mean, it happened to her. It could happen to anyone, which is true. It just sucks that happens to some people, but, I mean, the benefits outweigh the negative, right? I mean, how many countless lives have vaccines saved? But unfortunately, there are some people that, you know, do have bad reactions to it, and taking a step back and thinking about those people, I totally understand why those people don't want to vaccinate. Miss, the flu shot is a scam. I decided I should finally share this story. It's been a while since it happened, but I think some of my fellow #anti-vax moms would get a kick out of it. So a few months ago, around Thanksgiving, Alexis had the flu. I took her to the doctor to see what it was so I could treat it myself at home. We check in, and the lady at the front desk asked me, "Has your child had the flu shot?" I inform her no, she has not, because I would never inject my daughter with that poison. The lady had a weird look on her face, as if I was dumb. I mean, me? She says, "Ma'am, the flu shot is completely safe. It immunizes your child for multiple strains of the flu, and I think it would benefit your family to give the rest of your kids the flu shot." As I go to reply, my daughter Alexis says, "Miss, the flu shot is a scam created by Big Pharma to scam families out of their money, just like all the other vaccines we're supposedly required to get." Well, the lady at the front desk was so shocked. The crowd waiting room erupted in applause. I was so proud of my daughter for standing up for her beliefs. We ended up going home after that. But before I did, I got her some ice cream for being so brave. Children really are the future. Hashtag Big Pharma. Hashtag anti-vax. Hashtag doctors are dickheads. Hashtag proud mom. Hashtag mom props. Hashtag my child did not totally say that. I mean, I would call this mom out for like totally lying, but I mean, she's an anti-vaxxer, so all of her arguments are lies, right? Nice job, Germany. German Health Minister Jens Spahn is proposing a law that allows for fining parents of unvaccinated children up to 2,500 euros or $2,800. The conservative lawmaker wants to eradicate measles. Parents in Germany who refuse to vaccinate their children against measles will be required to pay up to this amount in money and fines, and their children will be thrown out of kindergarten, according to a draft law forwarded by Health Minister Jens Spahn. Holy crap. I want to eradicate measles, Spahn told the mass circulation Bild am Sonntag paper. All parents should be secure in the knowledge that their children will not be infected and endangered by measles. Oh my goodness. That's all I have to say. What an appropriate shirt. Do you still think that all vaccines are safe and effective? Do you still parrot that autism is a gift from God? By repeating those two statements, you too are playing a part of this evil agenda that is wiping out our generation. Please research all medical procedures and save our children from this holocaust. Blessing this person. Hashtag this team something. I think it's funny that she's saying like to research all medical procedures. So she's telling this random person to say like, hey, look at this one research paper against vaccines and this mountain of evidence for vaccines. So she's stupid and she's telling people to like do their own research. Yes, all of this absolutely happened. So, fair warning, apparently this anti-vaxxer doesn't believe in paragraphs either, so please bear with me. And she doesn't mention this, but she's a flight attendant. You kind of have to pick that up as you go along, but I think it'd probably be better knowing that before I read it. Guys, life is crazy and puts you in the right place at the right time. My plane was delayed. Instead of standing up and getting yelled at by passengers, I went to the flight deck to chat with the captains. I told the captain that I worked in a hospital before I was a flight attendant. He immediately smacked the first officer on the arm and said, "Hey, listen to this." Looked at me and asked, "So what do you think about vaccines?" I quickly said, "Well, I don't vaccinate my children. I and other healthcare workers have seen too many vaccine reactions and deaths to risk our kids' lives. There isn't enough research. The kicker for me, besides the loads of carcinogens, is the DNA from other species, and DNA from both human sexes, which hasn't been properly tested for long-term effects on our own genetics, and how it could change our family genetics line in the future." He looked at me in shock. And that's how we started our 1.5-hour conversation about vaccines, marijuana, vitamin C, how to avoid chemo, living off the grid, the harms of circumcision, and how it's BS that he has to go out of the country to get IV vitamin C to treat his newly diagnosed cancer. The first officer was just watching our conversation in awe, occasionally asking questions which were answered with facts. Turns out, the first officer was also interested because he was about to have a baby boy, and his wife was firm about not vaccinating and not circumcising. He wasn't a fan of her choices. But right before our delay was over, he texted his wife, telling her the arguing was over. He supports her decision to respect their son's bodily anatomy, and is comfortable with not vaccinating. He asked her to sit down and continue researching with him, occasionally to ensure they're making the right choices throughout the changes of science, which everyone should do no matter what you choose. We exchanged info. I promised Captain I'd give him some organic marijuana my husband is growing in Colorado once we perfect it, and he would send me tips for my vegetable garden, fish farm, and proper chicken care. What a day! The delay was for a reason. It was for a flat tire, but we made it worth our time. Once I got out of the flight deck, my coworker said, "You were in there for a long time." I told him about our convo. You wouldn't believe what he said next. "Oh, my parents are neuropaths. My mom started off as a registered nurse. We don't vaccinate either." My mom went to one of those circumcision protests last year, and the conversation continues. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a crew this much. So she worked at a hospital to going to a flight attendant. Now, I know flight attendants, I mean, they make an okay amount of money, but like you're not going to make like nurse money and then go to a flight attendant. That's like going backwards, right? She probably worked like billing or was like a janitor there or something like that. Like, there's no way that this person was like in charge of actual human lives, right? And then like she's a flight attendant, they're on a 1.5 hour delay, and she's just gonna go and chat with the captains while the passengers are getting unruly. Like, she got fired for that, right? If that actually happened. Like, passengers aren't gonna be like, hey miss, where's my drink or anything like that while she's sitting there chatting. And then the other flight attendant was like, hey, you've been chatting for a long time. It probably was more angry than what she realized. And also, like, the captain saying that he had to go out of country to get his vitamin C drip for his newly diagnosed cancer. Never heard of a doctor saying, oh, you got cancer? Meh, just eat some more oranges, you'll be fine. Thank you all for joining me on this VaxxHappened. I'd like to thank Angel for suggesting me going back to VaxxHappened. And if you guys liked what you saw, thumbs me up, share it with a friend, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. So until then, later kids.